I'm Tracy Brown, one of the co-founders of the Women Writing Intentionally Collective, and today I am joined by the beautiful Jodi Jackson, who has come on board as one of the authors in our second book in the Wounded Women series, Broken. So Jodi, I would love for you to just let everybody know a little bit about you and what it is that you do and how you help people.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on this. This is all so exciting. New venture for me, so I'm very excited about this. Yes, I am Jodi Jackson. I am a manifestation coach and Reiki healer, and that includes animals. I do that with horses as well, with the Reiki. So, yeah. I've been coaching now for a few years. I started during COVID when I took COVID as something that are supposed to reflect on. You know, whenever something is forced on us, like it was, I take it on. Well, what does that mean to me? And for me, that meant to reflect on what I really wanted to do because I was already had a knowing within me that there was something else out there for me that I wanted to do. I was already a Reiki healer. I had been a hairdresser in the entertainment industry for about 24 years. I did Broadway and film and television here in New York, but it wasn't filling something for me. And as I've grown older, I want to feel fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that as going to coaching school at the very beginning of COVID. I didn't waste any time. It came on me pretty quick. And I became a coach and niche down to manifestation because that's something I know how to do already. You know, you're taught, pick something that, you kind of identify with. And I definitely identify with manifestation, both big and small. So if I could help other people do that, guide them, great. It's something I love. I love connecting with people. So all the puzzle pieces just sort of came together and in
Yeah.
that way. So
I love how that happens. And I know when we were first connecting over the series, that was one of the things that we both had in common because, like you, I used to do quite a lot of in the coaching space to do with manifestation. And then I stepped into moonology, which for me brought all of the pieces of what I was doing in my coaching and the way that I work with manifestation together. And I thought that was really exciting to have somebody else come in and be a part of the book series that, had, a very similar background and, belief in the way that the world works and the way that manifestation works. I'm really excited to have you on board. Now, I would love it if you would share with everybody then, what was it that made you feel called to contribute in particular to this book series and to Broken?
Well, that's a really easy answer actually, because my own life was broken for a long time, and I love to talk about that elephant in the room that we are broken. We're all broken. I wish we could all come together and feel that, and not feel singled out that everyone else is, not broken and we are. It's just not that way, and I was taught that going through my own process. So yeah, I I'm hoping people to will get to know that, by reading through me and the other beautiful authors, that this is something we share. And I'm guessing that mine and the other authors' stories will just be different. Maybe we came to the place we are now in a different way, but the important thing is that we all got here, right?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping maybe somebody can get something from my story among the other stories, and that would just fill me up. Um, that would be amazing.
I love
Yeah.
that. And you're so right that quite often there is a common thread within each of the stories, and each of us has a different story to tell. but it is about how we've gotten to the other side and the journeys that we've been through and the common thread that runs through all of them. And for the readers, quite often there is something different they take from each person's chapter depending on how they see themselves within the stories. So, how do you hope that your chapter is going to help readers?
Well, I'm hoping it will call to the people who had maybe a similar lifestyle, if you will. I was bullied growing up, pretty much only had one friend at a time, until other people that didn't like me took them away. So, I went through that whole part of my life, and then I went through a lifestyle with my upbringing, that was actually middle upper class. And so we were expected to be a certain way, and it, that just didn't make me feel right. It didn't make me feel good. Um, I grew up in the Jewish religion where we were the chosen ones, right? And that just something was wrong with that always. Um, so maybe people that can relate to my story, I can help them with that, because it doesn't matter where you're from and where you are. There's one thing really that's to me is the best way to be, and that's something too. It's who you are, who you want to be, right? That helps you. So I guess I want that to help people. It's not your to-do list, it's your to-be list.
Yes, I love that idea
Um,
of the to be list. It's something that I've seen come
right?
up a few times, and
Yeah, because you
so
have to do something to have your to-be list, but when you think of who you want to be, it's going to be all these great maybe emotions or words you can come up with that are going to be positive, right? And you can go from that instead of other to-do lists that we all make, and
Mhm.
come up with what's best for you, for my chapter to bring out what's best for that reader, because we're all different.
Oh, I think that
So
is so magical, that idea that the reader will take that, what do they want to be, and embody that feeling or that emotion, um, and then go from that place as they move forward in their life. I think that's really beautiful.
mm.
So, then if that's what you want the readers to get out of your chapter, what is it that you hope to get for you out of contributing to this book personally?
um well, um honestly, being the first time I'm ever doing this is new to me. I've not done a book. I've done magazines and um different ways, but to have something out there like this, um I just gosh, God, I'm intuitive, and what is intuitively coming to me is that this is bigger than me. Um, I want to get out of it that I can do this, that I'm a writer, and that people are hearing me and liking my writing, and that'll just be, there's no words for it really. It'll add to my roster, but connection is everything to me, and I connect in so many different ways. So if I know that, I connecting to others by just writing, even something small, if you will, in this book, it's my connection to others, and it just, I guess that's where that intuitiveness is coming from. Am I making any sense?
You are,
Uh,
and I really just wanted to touch on that. You've said that you've written in like publications like magazines and things like that before, but you're now taking this next step to becoming an author rather than just a writer, if that makes sense. And I really just wanted to touch on that a little bit deeper for a second and ask you, what is it that was holding you back from considering yourself to be an author, even in writing for magazines or things like that, and
Mm.
stepping into and embodying this change now? What was it that made you think, you know what, now is the right time? Like what I have contributed and how I have already been a writer, I'm now ready to step into that identity of becoming a published author.
Gosh, I love that question. Thank you for asking that question.
Yeah.
Um, that's a
Throwing
deep
you a little
one.
curveball there.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, just well, timing is everything, right? You said it, timing. And I sit on my laurels sometimes and just wait because I know things aren't the right time, but I know if it's meant to come, it will. And for me, it did. It came to me. And um, I think probably, I know this might, I don't know if this is going to sound a little cheesy or something, but your publishing company, you've been so helpful, and with never doing this before, you're, kind of taking me along the way and making me feel comfortable to do it. So that's probably what helped me to take the step for the book.
Aw.
It could have been any publishing company that called me, but I felt comfortable. You made me feel comfortable and safe being my first book, you know, um, and with what it's about, the content, all that just comes together. And that's the first thing coming to my mind. I like to leave this organic. I try not to think about the questions I'm going to be asked too much. And that's what's coming forward for me.
I love that. And
So,
I really, I just want to thank you for trusting us and feeling like we are holding that safe space for you, especially with a story like Broken. And this is something that we have heard other writers in the Wounded Women series, particularly some of the Betrayed authors, because Betrayed just recently came out, but then also the other authors from Broken, or the ones who are doing the whole series, have said a similar kind of thing, that coming into this container, that it's not just the space that Jenny and I are holding for you guys, but it's also the sisterhood within the container of feeling seen and held by all of the other authors, and obviously the editing and publishing team, including Ruth, who has been commenting on the interview as well. And I know that you'll be getting to know Ruth really well as we work through Broken, that it really is a space where women are feeling really seen and really safe to express stories that can be really tough to tell.
mm, yeah, yeah. I love to say this. It's not even so tough for me to tell anymore because I'm in such a different space now. Now all I want to do is, whether it be through my coaching business, and just connecting with people that way, my clients, because of what I've gone through, or this, it's more comfortable to tell now, I guess, because I feel like I've broken out, right? I've
Mhm.
broken the chains. I'm not there anymore. So it's easier to talk about.
Yeah,
So
I
thank
love that.
goodness.
And so then what part of the journey are you the most excited to be experiencing then, as we go through this process, as you write your chapter, as we go through into the book launch and publication and whatever, what is it that you're
Mm.
most excited to experience?
Well, I have thought about that one. And because I will go into my little hole, to do my writing, and I'll just be in my thought process, and it's probably going to be after that what I'm going to be most excited for. I'll come out of that. I'll have it all written. I'll be so excited that it's finished, and I'll be excited to just get to see how others relate to it and how
Mm.
I'm connecting with them on this new level. That's
Yeah.
going to be just thinking about that, seeing that, that light at the end of that tunnel. I'll finish writing and,
Mhm.
see how it all unfolds.
That is
I
one of
can't
the
wait.
beautiful things about writing, is then seeing how we don't always see the full ripple effect of how people do connect with our stories. But as we launch and it goes out, and, our families and our friends and our clients and our networks receive the book, and then, as part of our launch teams or our review teams or things like that, and we get that feedback from those people in our lives or our networks who say, "Oh my goodness, Jodi, I read your chapter and it was amazing," or "I didn't ever know that about you," or whatever, is one of the things that I know for some of the other authors has just been so incredibly powerful, to see that connection, as you say, even with people that we know, but then out in the wider world, as things like the reviews start coming in and we see people we don't know and how they are connecting with the books on a different level, is really exciting. And I love that for you, that's something that you're excited about, because it is a beautiful part of the journey.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, so much.
Yeah.
So much. So for anybody who might be watching, or anyone who catches the replay later, if they have resonated with your story or would like to find out more about your manifestation coaching or your work with Reiki, particularly if they have horses, how can they get in contact with you? Where can they find you? Where do you hang out on the internet?
Well, I have a link tree now that is probably the easiest place to find everything in one place. I think that's an amazing app. I love whoever came out with that. So that will be very simple at just Restore You Coaching and Reiki, which is the name of my business. Just all one, Restore You Coaching and Reiki. And yeah, everything will come through there.
Perfect.
So
Okay. So if
yeah,
you'd like to connect with Jodi, you can find her on Linktree. So linktr.ee/restoring you Reiki and coaching and Reiki. Restore you
coaching and
coaching.
Reiki. Yeah. And if they'd like to just get straight to me, send me something, that can be at my email. That's on there too, but that's my name, Jodi K. Jackson, Jodika Jackson at gmail.com. And that's my
Perfect.
email. You can get right to me.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Jodi, and sharing a little bit about your journey with the Wounded Women series and Broken. I am so excited to be working with you and for us to learn more about your story as it unfolds. And I know that there is definitely going to be some magic in there for the readers when Broken comes out. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate you. If you are following along, do feel free to continue to comment, and we will get back to you as well. Have a wonderful afternoon.